Melton Mowbray. I'm just going to try and skip through my. Hey, that one's going in the blooper reel. Okay, there we go. Good morning.
Good morning. That was a good icebreaker. Love that.
Yeah, that's the way to relax the nerves, isn't it?
It is.
We'll put that in the blue. Well, I'll cut that out of the edited version and put a blooper reel at the end of the year. Anyway, we'll try that again. Good morning, Melton Mowbray. I'm Kelly, if you've forgotten who I am, and I'm here with Richard today from Black Dragon Games. And we are going to talk about where you guys started and your successes so far, and then your biggest expansion that you guys have got going on at the moment, and how you guys can go and donate to that expansion. So, Richard, how did all of this that we're sat in right now kind of come about?
I think the answer, as with many things these days, starts with COVID. Because everything is part of our post-COVID world. So I ran a few businesses before COVID, and a lot of them unfortunately suffered heavily with the loss of exams. So a few things we were doing stopped working, and I had a bit of Warhammer over COVID and I ended up selling a bit online because I needed some cash. And I started thinking, oh, I could do this for a living. So we started looking at possibilities. We started looking at maybe selling online professionally, and then we got to the point, well, how about a shop? How about actually doing a shop in Melton where we live and doing something with the community? And we didn't want just a little boutique. There were lots of little boutiques around.
Yes.
If we were going to do it, we wanted to do something big. We could come in and play games, and we could make it a community project. And it kind of just happened.
And happened it did. Your reputation and your awards have, since you started up, have just been immense. After Dark Awards, which, as you know, the award winner myself, is the award that you want to win. The award you want to win in when it comes to the Melton Times Best of Melton Awards. You've got sponsorships with people playing competitive Pokemon TCG now. Draw Attach Pass, who Ross was just telling us about before we came on.
Yeah.
Brilliant showing there, isn't there, in terms of what those guys are doing for.
Yeah. Pokemon has been one of our most recent and biggest successes. So we started out a while ago, soon after we opened, with a junior Pokemon club, and that got fairly well after a while.
Yeah.
But the adult song we didn't break into until more recently, and we've now got an amazing group of adult players centered around this team, Draw Attach Pass, who a dozen people from that we're sponsoring. And they come in regularly and they play, and they're off to regionals. And it's just exciting to go beyond just running games in store and have people actually coming and forming teams and competing.
Something that I always loved about you guys, and one of the reasons I always love putting your events on, etc., when they're on guides, etc., is that you guys are very much about community here. Obviously, we've spoken about the Pokemon community, which is a community that I'm kind of part of, but kind of need to get back into. I know Reese, he does Pokemon and he does Lacana, but you've got also so many other communities alongside those two, haven't you?
It's vast. It's amazing. So we've done board game nights, and that's become a huge success. And then there's 6 TCGs on at the moment, which is ever so slightly overwhelming, but really exciting to have lots of different people down doing things. And then the wargaming scene is sick. And Dungeons and Dragons as well. So there's loads going on all the time.
But you say that these 6 TCGs are overwhelming, but you could never tell, like, looking at it, because the things that I've been to here are so well run, and it's in some ways effortless. I think the most effort we've ever had to worry about is who's moving to each particular part of the table.
Happy to hear that it looks that way.
Is it one of those ones, because I know when I spoke to Chris yesterday, he was saying, obviously he's a very different part of the After Dark economy and terms of what he does, but he was saying how to the outside world it looks so easy and looks as if it's pretty much effortless, and as an organizer you're there as the duck manically.
We try to keep people on this island of calm in these tumultuous seas. It's not uncommon for there to be a discussion somewhere in the middle of an event about what's gone wrong and how we're going to fix it. And like you say, most of the time, it goes without notice, which is great.
So that's kind of where you are now. And I know, and obviously you've got all the successes and all the community thing. And that's one of the things that I loved about you guys. And one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you guys today and get this Q&A booked in about your future, because you guys have got a really big future plan in place, haven't you?
A very big future. So we started out with just the space that you're used to, which was nice. And we've got quite a lot of babies in there. But over a year ago, we got to the point where that wasn't nowhere near enough.
No.
The store is generally fully booked most of the time, often with events that we're running, which kind of excluded that initial community who used to come in and book tables and play whatever they want. And people have now found that that's possible.
Yeah,
because there's so many.
Being on as I've seen it firsthand when you had Pokemon Day and Board Game Day on the same night, and it was basically the whole place was rammed.
Yeah. So we've spent about a year and a half now, I think, actually trying to find an expansion option. People probably been, we're very lucky here with the landlords.
Rarity, I've noticed.
A real rarity. So we've looked at a lot of properties in Melton, and there's a very strong commercial feel to a lot of it where you don't really get to talk to landlords, and a lot of things can be dealt with very quickly and easily face to face.
Yes.
So the original landlord here was a friend of the family who got us set up here and really helped us out. It's a great deal getting started. And his children have now taken over, and they've really helped us a lot with our expansion, using the current site here and going upstairs as well. A massive amount for us to help us get from.
Such a big thing, isn't it? Especially with current things that have come out since with certain people. The fact you've got that support from your landlord in a time that residents are calling for that landlord's support for businesses to keep them in the town. It's so important, isn't it?
It's made the biggest difference to us. It's a really good relationship, and in all the possible expansion plans we looked at, there were some others that could have worked, and we decided we'd rather work with a landlord we know and trust.
Agreed.
Because we're safer for our future, and we can get more done.
Yes.
So anyway, what we're going to do with it? So you've seen the expanded space already. So we've started with just a little bit of extra space. We've got ourselves 4 extra gaming tables by moving our stock room into a big room further back in the building. So we've got lovely facilities for storing stock now. We're no longer tripping over ourselves. Shelves for everything. It's great, and that's a bit future-proofed as well. Shelves are not that full yet.
Yeah, I know, and especially when you're coming into Christmas season. I know Pokemon and Lacana, they've both got new expansions for Christmas. As someone who tried to pre-order said expansions, I know just how quickly they go. Like that. So the fact that you're planning up to Christmas and beyond is brilliant, and the fact you've got that space to do so as well. Yeah,
it's amazing, and it's given us those 4 extra gaming tables for our community to use. We opened them on a Sunday. We were full all that day. On the first day, we had no space left, and since then we've actually hit capacity several more times. So it's quite clear that those 4 tables are still dotted up. We're still not running a lot of the groups that we want to run. We're still not really broken into any wargaming tournaments properly. We're nowhere near that yet. So the next part of the plan is to move upstairs. And that's going to be very exciting. That's looking to provide us an event space where we could have 32 people playing the wargaming tournament, or even more if it were trading couples.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking at a real event space that we can use. The goal is every weekend something running up there, which will work for our local community, but also will bring in people from further afield, but it's right at the centre of it.
Because this is something that I don't feel certain promotional avenues kind of touch on as much as I think they should be touched on. Because you guys, you're not only bringing people from Melton, and I'm merely speaking from the Pokemon side now, as that's the community I'm personally most active in out of the ones that you guys have got here. You guys are bringing, especially after, you're one of the rare exceptions, I would say, in the county that you guys aren't just staying open as a game shop, but you guys are actually going strong and expanding
Yes.
when all of these other game shops in the area are the complete antithesis. They're shutting. And now I'm noticing now that you guys have kind of not only become a mecca for gaming within the town itself, but started to become a mecca within the county and beyond.
Yes. Yeah. I would love to figure out what it is we've done right that's meant that we're succeeding in growing. But like you say, some stores aren't. The only thing we can focus on there really is community. So that has always been our focus. While obviously we've got a lot of geeks running a shop who love their hobbies and
Yeah.
want to be involving and grow, at the end of the day, it's got to be about the community first, because we don't have a store, we don't have a gaming environment for the community.
Yeah, and I think that's you're saying that you don't quite know what you've done to be that exception and rule, but I personally would say that community thing has been the big thing for you, and being not only being in the community but giving the community another option, especially when it comes to the after dark economy as well.
Yeah, that's gone really, really well, and that community is extending to other areas. We get regular customers coming in for certain events for other areas, sometimes driving out to get to us. It's amazing to be able to support that, and it's amazing they want to support us, that there are people driving hour and calling to their local games.
Yeah.
That's the
So obviously these expansions, it's great, it's exciting. I've seen the plans, they look amazing. However, like everything in Melton Mowbray, they cost money.
little bit.
Just a little bit of money. So you guys have got your version of a crowdfunder going at the moment.
Yeah.
haven't you?
Yep, so we put some crowdfunding up on our website. We've managed funding from a few places already. There's a government project that's invested in us, which is great. And got a little bit of money from ourselves. We've always invested a lot of money into our own business. But there's a top up needed to get us towards that final target, finishing the expansion upstairs. And finishing the expansion downstairs. The back room looks lovely at first sight, but the carpets need doing, the ceiling needs doing, the lighting. It's quite a bit of work to be done there. It's a bit of a patch job just to get people in there and allow them to come in to do more gaming as soon as possible. So we're excited about getting all that looking absolutely perfect. Yeah, it's just a case of getting those last few funds together, ready for the big push.
Brilliant. So how can people donate to the crowdfunder? Is it just going straight on the website?
The crowdfunding is all through the website. Yeah, you can just donate on there. And the exciting bit, of course, is that is the rewards that we're running, which we're particularly excited about.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about those rewards then.
Okay, so haven't got sampling. I should have got sampling. So at the centre of that is the gold reward card, which is a little bit like a membership club for backers. So people supporting us will get a number of reward cards for their donation. And they're very similar to our current reward cards, but you get double stamps on. So you earn those rewards very, very quickly. And it's a nice way for us to say thank you, but also for any donations that come our way to gradually return to the community over time once everything is done and set up in a way that doesn't negatively impact business's finances.
You're investing into the community in exchange for the community investing in you guys, basically.
So it's a nice two-way thing that means that we get to say thank you properly. But that's just the start. Then there's all the exclusive merch.
Yes, because one of the things that drew my attention was the wall. You're going to build a wall. There's going to be a wall, isn't there?
Yes. So we're looking to put some plaques up. It's going to be a bronze plaque for first level of backers. So everyone who backs this campaign gets on that. And then to get to the higher levels, there'll be a silver plaque for the silver level backers. And then anyone who invests at the gold level, which is very, very high.
I think it's about 1,000.
For anyone going that route, there'll be a plaque just for them to honour their massive contribution. And then there's lots of as well. So our gold pin badges. Have you seen a gold pin badge?
I'm trying to remember if I have.
You don't see them very often. The place you'll see them most often is in our junior Pokemon Club, because they were originally created as the final reward in the gym leader challenge. So beat all 4 gym leaders and defeated our gym master, Ross. They get a gold pin badge. I think, my head, there are about 8 of them knocking about, and Ross one. But they look truly stunning. I mean, the colourful ones look.
See, I've never seen the Black Dragon equivalent of the gold blue Peter badge. I must admit, now you've explained what it was. I'm like, I don't think I've seen like your normal pin, but I don't think I've seen the elusive gold pin yet.
Yeah, that looks absolutely stunning. I want one, and I'm not allowed one because I'm the red gym leader. So I get the red badge.
You get the red badge.
But the gold badge.
Do you have a specific type as like the red gym leader? Like, do you have to have like a fire type deck, or is it just you are red and you can play how you want?
So the colours represent the energy types that we're using for our decks. Mine is indeed red. It's a specific red theme.
A specific.
It's dragons. It's all. It's mostly Charizard.
I was about to say, is it Zard or Arcanine? Because normally it's red if it's one of those two, isn't it?
Yeah, I've gone Charizard route. There's a few other flyers in there. So, Moltres and things like that. Yeah. We weren't meant to change the gym leader decks, and then we pulled a black Charizard. And we decided, as we now had a black dragon, of which you can only put 1 in your deck, that we would change my deck slightly and pop a black dragon.
I was about to say, if you pull the black Charizard, you have to keep the black Charizard. Surely, it's that much of a rarity. Yeah.
So that's been good fun. But yeah, I get the red pin badge. Ross has the gold one. And yeah, the only way of getting that current Pokemon, but we'll be rolling back as well. And then we'll get some unique designs on the deck boxes we do and the dice trays we do, which have the Black Dragon Games 2.0 logo on them, and that'll be an exclusive as well.
Awesome.
And then all the way up to hoodie, the Backers hoodie. We haven't quite finalised the design. We think we're probably going with gold on that.
With the pin badge, the whole shebang.
Yeah, we want to check it, want to see some samples, make sure we're happy with it. But that's the plan.
Sounds like a very great plan. So, as Richard's already said, if you do want to donate, you can do so via the Black Dragon website, or at the bottom of this stream, there is a little box and it's got a QR code on it. So if you're watching this on a big screen, somebody else's phone, a television, etc., you can just get your camera and scan that QR code, and barring it works, which it should be because we tested it before we went live, it will take you directly to Black Dragon's crowdfunding page so that you can directly donate to them guys there. So Richard, thank you. I know you were very nervous talking about this. This is I think your first time ever doing one of these, is it?
From my Melton, yeah. We've done a few interviews for radio and some online TV shows and things. It's been interesting, but not what we signed up for. Comes up more often than we expected,
as we discussed. But honestly, thank you so much for taking the time out of what I imagine is an incredibly busy time for you guys. Just merely the expansion alone, and that's without all your learn to plays, pre-releases, etc., that you guys have got between now and Christmas, which I need to book on. And if you want to book on them as well, they are on the Black Dragon website, so feel free to go on there, look on the events tab, and they list all of the events on there by Pacific community. So there's a tab for Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Warhammer, so on and so forth. And then there's a separate tab on there for learn to plays if you want to get into the community of your choice but don't quite know where to start. So thank you so much for taking the time out today. That concludes our conversation today. Thanks very much, guys, for watching. The weekly guide will be out this afternoon. I kind of need to do some paid work first, and then after that I will be doing the guide for you guys, and I will